Hello YouTube, I am the Ninja, and on this episode of Devil's Advocate, we'll be looking at Forbidden Shaping, a Priest Epic card that was announced in the Whispers of the Old Gods expansion. For the most part, it seems that people have been quite critical of Forbidden Shaping, as well as its cousins Forbidden Healing and Forbidden Damage, I believe, or Forbidden Fire. Forget about that. But I think of all of them, I think this card has the greatest potential. Um, so it's text, spend all your mana, summon a random minion that costs that much. Is a very interesting spell, and I'm quite proud of Blizzard, if that makes sense, for producing a card like this. It really pushes the elements, and it really helps define Hearthstone's as a online kind of card game where online random effects can happen like this, but it is more controllable than some of the variant spells that do random damage or such. I think in terms of what you can accomplish with this, it's much more favorable to you and your opponent rather than random cards like the Unstable Portal or Crackle, which have large ranges of what can actually come out of them. At least with this one, it's much more narrow and defined, and so really, you and your opponent kind of know you're going to get when you play Forbidden Shaping. If you're going to hold onto this card and play at 10 mana, you know you're going to get one of the 10 mana cards, most likely going to be a legendary card. But if you play it really early on, you're probably going to get some lower tier card. And I think that's what makes this card quite interesting, and it's going to make it usable in decks. And I think at the very least, it's going to be a card that you're going to want to pick in Arena because it is going to be quite versatile. So looking at the effect itself, spend all your mana, summon a random minion for that costs so much. It's quite interesting because you're going to have to order. You're going to play your cards in a good order in order to maximize this. You're going to want to make sure you play all the cards you have that you're going to use that turn in the right order. Otherwise, you're going to end up with an oops or something at the end of that. So it's important to note that you will be using all your mana when you play this card. So what that means is that it opens up the door possibilities where you can be playing you can be using the coin to help get you the advantage on how much that minion costs. And as we all know, the higher the cost, the better the minion is for the most part. And so you could get some pretty good minions out of this. With powerful effects, of course. Another issue people have brought up is the fact that you don't get as much value from the fact that it's summoned, so you don't actually get to play the minion, and so it won't get the battlecry effect. But that does leave open the end of turn, inspire, or other effects that can take place that can cause an ability. So there are quite a few cards, especially in this expansion, that will be featuring effects that do take place, which will help this card become quite more valuable. And I think for the most part, you can use this card to help bolster your own deck, or you can use it to really fill in the gaps. And I think for me, moving on, I definitely want to be using this card to help fill in the kind of mana gaps. You're going to want to mulligan for Forbidden Shaping, so that way if there is a spot where you're just stuck with spells and you need to be playing minions, you can just use Forbidden Shaping to help fill in the gaps in your minions. And then if you put 2 copies in, you can play them both during the game, and you can play them when you need them. And so that's where you really can get some more value than many people consider, is that it really is play as you see fit. And that adds some versatility. Even though you don't know what you're going to get, you know you have a range of what you can expect. You're going to probably be seeing, like, yeah, you know what the stat line is for most of the cards. And so moving on, it's going to be quite interesting. The last thing I have to say is I'm going to be quite interested to see how this card plays in a few years' time, especially because once it's in Wild, with all the cards that will be entering Wild eventually as time goes on, this will be quite a fun card to be playing. So you'll be getting cards from different generations in Wild. That would be quite fun to see, and that'd be quite a fun thing to do. But that's a bit on the geek side of things. If you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to comment with any uh, comments or criticisms, or any feedback you have is great. Leaving a like or dislike just shows me what, just gives me some encouragement on to keep making these videos. I enjoy making them, but it's kind of pointless if no one watches them. If you would like to see the next episode, please feel free to click on the top left-hand corner, if there is one. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.